Folks, you're listening to Texas Top Homes. I'm your host, Freeman Sawyer. And with me is my co-host, Tracy Wiesman. Today, we're visiting with two of Texas top realtors, Sherri Elliott and Patricia Young with Integrity Team, powered by eXp Realty.
How do you help your clients decide what to list their house for?
Well, obviously, we're going to do the comps ahead of time. They have in their mind already, before they call me, what they want to sell it for. And they don't share it with me, so they want to make sure I know what it should sell for. So I do talk to them, and in the market that we're in right now, they always want the highest price because everyone's going over the asking price. And so what I advise them on, it's always up to them what they list for. I advise them that they should still list it at the market value, because what's going to happen is when they list at the market value, it's going to go over.
Sure.
We're in a multiple offer situation, and if you go to the top end, you may be waiting on offers because people think you're overpriced versus price it at the market value, and then you're going to have a lot of people going after it, and you're going to get more money.
Sure.
And what we're going to do in that situation is have the buyer bring the cash difference, because it's probably not going to appraise when they're going over. So we write that up in the contract as well.
So price is obviously important. I want the most price, but are there any other coaching tips or best practices that you, when a seller's potentially thinking about using you, that you actually share with them or say, hey, you need to do this before we ever list it?
Yeah, we need to know where they're moving, first off. So I know I can get them into another house, or are they okay with temporary living? So that's the first question that I ask them.
That's a big decision.
Yes, yes. Because if they don't know where they're going and we don't know, I mean, because
or
our
if they're
goal is
building or
Correct.
Yeah, it could be a problem.
we got to
Sell too
find
fast.
a place to put them, because
Sure.
they're going to have to move quick. And sometimes we get them a lease back, and that's a good thing too. So I just need to know what their motive is, what they want to do, so that we can figure that out. Then we talk about putting it on the market and what they need to do ahead of time, and that we are going to send a stager out and a professional photographer.
Okay.
But what they can do is the things that I've already seen, I will tell them, hey, fix this, do this, and declutter. You know, go ahead and start packing up the stuff. You're moving anyway. So let's pack up things, and then I'm going to send my stager out. It'll make your life easier and hers. And it'll take us one day to get it on the market, basically. My stager will come, my photographer will come, and the next day it'll be on the market.
And what about those people that are maybe waffling on the price, right? So everybody wants the most money for sure, but let's say it's a $400,000 house, and you think it's really maybe a $350,000 house. How do you have that discussion that they, in their mind, they want too much?
So what I tell them is, okay, the comps show me this. I can only look at comps, so I'm giving you data, and where did you get the 400 from? And so they have to tell me that. And even if they still stick with the 400 and say, no, we really want 400, then I go back to, okay, the comps are saying 350. And so how I market homes are usually 350, 375, 400. If we were between 375 and 380, I would want to market at 375, because what I've told you is we're going to get multiple offers.
Right.
Wouldn't you rather them go up and we're not going to have an appraisal issue because the buyer's going to bring us the cash, and I've explained that to them, versus you go to 400 and it doesn't appraise, and now you're renegotiating and you're having to come down because the comps are this. Where's the appraiser going to get their comps from?
Right.
They look at the same data I'm looking at. So unless you can provide different data, we're going to have an appraisal issue. So we have to figure that out before we worry about where we're going to get the money.
Sure.
Then they talk about cash buyers. Well, those don't come around every day. They do, but it's not an everyday thing.
Right.
That's right.
So
And sometimes cash isn't really cash.
correct. And the
Sometimes cash is
true.
through Skyline.
And the financing is higher, and they used to pick cash, but now they don't, because the financing goes over, and they will
Right.
bring the cash difference.
Sure.
Right. And what about do you recommend anybody ever get an inspection or an appraisal ahead of time?
Yes. The appraisals, especially if they're trying to overprice it, I tell them, let's just
Okay.
get an appraisal ahead of time, and I've had sellers do it in this market. Let's go ahead and get an appraisal. You want to sell it at 400. That way we know it's,
Sure.
it's a true appraisal, and that's who's going to be appraising. It won't be the same appraiser, and we can't use it because
Right.
the lender's going
But
to
at
have
least
to.
you know.
And then
What about inspections?
inspections, I will, if number one, if I feel like they should, but I do tell them ahead of time what to anticipate as far
Okay.
as inspections. In the market we're in right now, people are taking houses as is and stuff, so I'm not saying it as much now, but I do tell them about the inspections. Back when we weren't selling them the way we're selling them now, I would always advise it and have them repair the stuff ahead of time.
Gotcha.
Since the market
So-
shifted, we're kind of
In your experience, right, is what really lets you to walk into a house and go, okay, we need to declutter here. This is going to get hot in the inspection.
yes.
And,
And if there's windows and I see fogged windows, I mean, I'm going to tell them about that up front.
Right.
And tell them the buyer's always, and Patricia will tell you this, buyer always overestimates how much that repair is. So
Always.
when we get into the
Really?
repair situation,
Yes.
they're going to think, to fix a window is going to be $500 when it's really about $125 if it's fogged.
Gotcha.
Sure.
And in your integrity team, right, those are good partners that you have that can help repair
Correct.
those things.
And then it's in pristine shape when we go in. Again, in this market right now, we still want it that way, but the houses are selling that aren't pristine right now. So
And what about landscaping, right? We're coming out of, Texas gets all seasons here, right? Sometimes you come in and out of winter, right? We're getting into spring, right? Maybe summer. Do you recommend landscaping at all?
Definitely, I do. I mean, no one wants a bare house, so you have to have great landscaping. And if it's
Great landscaping.
great
right?
landscaping,
Great landscaping.
not,
It's very
not a few
important.
bushes.
Yeah.
They like landscaping.
One flower.
Yeah. Want to make sure everybody heard great.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
that's
you
good.
you drive up when we like as buyer when we drive up, that's the first thing they're like, ooh,
Yeah.
not real pretty, where it could be, but that is really huge. Like your front door, your windows are clean. I mean, buyers take note of that. I mean, if they're going to pay top dollar in this market, the house needs to look good.
The first attraction in any
Yeah.
attraction is curb appeal in a house.
Yes,
Yep.
very important.
Absolutely. Ladies, thanks for coming in today. All the listeners out there, if they want to reach you to set up an appointment to list their house or either buy a house, Sherri, what's your website?
IntegrityTeamSellsTexas.com.
And if they want to call direct and set an appointment to list a house or buy a house, how do they reach you guys?
It is 940-381-7095.